Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the actual problem set for day 3. We have the first question. So I have two options here. I could either divide each side by 2, or I could distribute the 2. So if I divided each side by 2, I would end up with some fractions over here, which I'm not afraid of fractions, but if I can avoid them, I will. So I'm going to distribute so I don't have to deal with fractions, at least not yet. So now I need to move all my constants to one side and all my variables to the other. I'm going to go back to old tricks and move all my variables to the left side. Negative 1x plus 10 equals 1. I'm going to move this constant to the other side. Negative 1x equals negative 9. Divide each side by negative 1, and x is 9. And of course I can always plug my answer back in place of the variable and work it out and see if I get the same numeric value for each side of the equation. Moving on to the next question. There is no distributing to be done here. So I'm just going to go ahead and move all my variables to the left side. So I'm going to add 2y to each side. I have to keep this equation balanced. That's eliminated. 5y minus 4 equals 6. Now I'm going to add 4 to each side. That moves the constants to the right side. 5y equals 10. Divide each side by 5. And y equals 2. Third question. I have quite a bit of distributing here. Since it's on both sides, I think what I want to do is just go ahead and distribute and start there. 3n plus 6 equals 54 minus 9n. Then I would add 9n to each side of the equation. 12n plus 6 is 54. I'm going to subtract 6 from each side. So 12n equals 48. Divide each side by 12, and n is 4. On the next question, we have Claire, and she's solving an equation. And she realized her solution was incorrect when she checked it. So she knows she made a mistake, but she can't find it. So let's see if we can help Claire find her mistake. See, 12 times 5 is 72. 12 times 5 is 60. So there's a mistake. 12 times 2y is 24y. Okay. Then 4y, the opposite of 5 is negative 5. The opposite of minus 9y is plus 9y. So we found two mistakes there in that first row. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Scoop my paper. Hi, this is an excellent problem to show how we can multiply to eliminate our fractions, because I don't want to deal with this fraction. I could, but I don't want to right now. So I'm going to multiply each side of the equation by 9. So this is eliminated, leaving me with 2n minus 16 equals 9 times 1/3 is 3. So 3 times the quantity, 2n plus 4. Okay, then I would need to do 6m plus 12. I'm going to subtract 6m from each side. Negative 4m minus 16 equals 12. Add 16 to each side. Negative 4m equals 28. Divide by negative 4. M equals negative 7. And then substitute that back in to check it. You can do that on your own. Should have already done it as we're going over our homework. Okay, next question. So I can either distribute, or I can divide each side. I think I'll just divide each side by -4. So that's going to actually leave me with r plus 2 equals -2 minus 2r, or -1, because 4 divided by -4 is -1. Still need to distribute here, so -2 plus 2r. Then let's subtract 2r from each side. -1r plus 2 is -2, minus 2 from each side. -1r is -4, divide by -1, r is 4. Okay. I'm thinking on this next one, do I want to divide each side by 12, or do I just want to distribute? And this time I think I want to distribute. This looks very familiar. Is this Claire's question? This is very similar to Claire's question, but it is not her question. Okay, so 12 times 5 is 60, plus 24y, 4y minus 6 plus 9y. We're not going to make that mistake. Now this time I do have some like terms to combine, so let's go ahead and combine those. 4 plus 9 is 13y minus 6. Oh, I'll get that wrong. Alright, then I'm going to move all my constants to one side and my variables to the other. So 60 plus 11y equals -6. Subtract 60 from each side. 11y is -66. Divide by 11, and y is -6. Okay. Now here's Noah. And looks like he's trying to check his work, and he writes that. And then he made a mistake. So let's see if we can locate his mistake. So maybe he's dividing by half or multiplying by 2. Okay, so if we multiply this by 2, that would be 12 and 20. So you have to ask yourself, should he have multiplied here? But since this is one term, that's multiplication, no, that's not the issue. So what did he do next? Then he's going to multiply by 5 on each side. Okay, so that's going to eliminate that. But if we're multiplying by 5, he would need to multiply this 20 by 5 as well, which didn't do. So this is definitely the mistake that he made. So I'm kind of wondering if this could be a point of confusion for some people, like, why do we need to multiply the 5 by the 20 but not by the 12? Well, this is going back up to this part. This is one term, right? You have to distribute to each term, and terms are separated by addition or subtraction. So if it's just multiplication, that's still the same term. So as long as you multiply by one part of the term, then you're good. It's kind of like if you had 4x times 6, you would go 6 times 4 is 24, so it would be 24x. It would not be 6 times 4 times 6 times x. It would not be that. So that's why we multiply the 5 by this term. So the mistake is right here, because that should be a 100 or minus 100.